Tariffs are the most beautiful word. I think they're beautiful. It's going to make us rich.
Tariffs are a major part of President-elect Donald Trump's foreign policy and economic agenda.
We want fairness from other countries. We have not been treated fairly, and we're going to get fairness.
Put simply, tariffs are a tax on goods from another country paid by the company importing them, usually to protect national industries or as a trade negotiation tool. Quick history lesson. In the U.S., tariffs started out steep.
You can say there were three distinct periods of tariff history in the United States. It's from, say, 1790 to 1860, when tariffs were the main source of federal revenue. Something like 90% of all federal revenues was based on taxing imports. From the Civil War to the Great Depression of the 1930s, we had tariffs for protection. Tariffs were raised to very high levels on a variety of imports, and basically those industries were protected.
But that changed in the mid-1930s.
Policymakers decided that high tariffs were not really good for the American economy. So from the 1930s all the way up to now, we've had a progressively lower and lower tariffs.
In 2018, President Trump imposed sweeping tariffs on China, an effort to reduce the trade deficit and boost U.S. manufacturing. The Biden administration kept most of these tariffs and, in some cases, even raised them on $18 billion of Chinese goods, though the move is said to be largely symbolic.
The 2018 tariffs do appear, as best economists can judge things, to have raised the price level by 1% to 2%.
Larry Summers is former U.S. Treasury Secretary under Democratic President Bill Clinton. He says the tariffs were not effective.
The evidence is that they made a small contribution to inflation. Tariffs tend to make the people in the countries who impose them poorer because they raise the price of what they buy, and that makes paychecks go less far.
But others, like Orrin Cass, chief economist at conservative think tank American Compass, say tariffs ultimately benefit the economy.
What we saw in 2018 when President Trump first imposed a lot of tariffs was there were some places where there was an effect on prices. A lot of times that was short-lived. When we do collect tariffs, if people do have to pay more, that's tax revenue that goes to the government. So we can use that to reduce other taxes. We can use that to reduce our deficit. We can use that to actually support the creation of more manufacturing here in the United States.
While the efficacy of tariffs is still widely debated, their international reach is indisputable. After President Trump's tariffs on China in 2018, the country retaliated with tariffs of its own on U.S. goods. Now, in 2025, Mexico is threatening to do the same after President Trump said he would impose strict tariffs on China, Mexico, and Canada.
I think we may be in the midst of a sort of third big change in U.S. tariff policy.
And that's Tariffs Simply Explained.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.